YouTube, Sam here. This is a little bit of learn from my experience of what not to do here and a bit of a review on this. Now, I can't really give you a complete review because you probably wouldn't be able to find one of these, but I tell you, if you ever find this Air America Developus Air Power Company, so it's a Developus, they were known for being good, I don't know anymore. You know, and it's a 6.5 horse, 80 gallon, 2-stage, 175 psi, all that stuff. It is a 240 volt machine, so you have to be able to have the ability to have that. 40, what is it? Like a 30 amp, I don't know. But I gotta tell you, I've done nothing but change the oil on this thing for the past, I've probably had it for going on 18 years, somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure. I might even be able to find a date on here. I'll look at that. If I find it, I'll bring it back later. But my point about this is the only thing that's gone wrong is this mechanism here, which this is even a different one. I've had two of these kind of go bad. Part of that, I think, is my fault in the way I wired it up. I wired it basically directly into the fuse panel here a long time ago, because I didn't have 240 plugs in this garage, so I just hooked it up with it. Now I do have a plug, so I'm going to get ready to put this back in. But in the midst of doing that, I'll kind of show you how abused I actually have left it. I haven't even changed the belt on this thing ever. Even after trying to find a date on here, I haven't been able to find a date yet. And rubbing all that stuff off. Speaking of dirty, my lens is dirty. You can see all the stuff caked up on there that I've let cake up. I've done oil changes on it, but it's starting to, I think, get some blow by. You can see there's some kind of oily substance coming out of the exhaust port or whatever port that is there. Anyway, and it's getting kind of a little bit oily around here. Here's the big thing though, like back in here, I took the cover off. I've already kind of started cleaning it up. You can see there's just mass amounts of dust and dirt in here, and actually on the front cover and even on here you can kind of see there's paint, where paint has actually been sucked into here, and there was actually a buildup layer of paint. I actually started cleaning this out, and I decided I should do a video on this because I have just abused this thing. I mean, you can see like right here where there's paint, where there's just a buildup of stuff. It's just it's old paint that was from a green paint job I did, where it's just caked up on here. So it's just, I mean, it's bad for the machine. It's bad for the probably makes it a lot louder and balance. That's the word I'm actually looking for. Bad for the balance on these things. Plus, this is, I think, supposed to help cool the pump back there, and if it can't do that, that's going to be harder on the machine too. The motor is actually an American made motor. Haven't done anything with it, haven't had to do anything. It is a 1 horsepower, I believe, motor, and it does say made in the USA on it, so I don't know how much of this machine was made in the USA, but it was Developus. And it is very old, so back then they probably put a lot more US parts on these things. But I gotta say, if you ever come by a garage sale or some sort of a thing where you find one of these and it's in decent shape, pick it up, because I've been immensely happy with this since I bought it. So I will look for a date a little bit more on here, get it cleaned up. One thing I don't like about this is where the oil comes out here when you change it. I actually don't remember if this came with it or if I found it, but I actually can pull that out, make a little bit of a mess, get that in, and bring it out a little ways so I can hook a bucket over here and dump the oil in. But that is one downfall to this, but I think a lot of compressors are the same way, so it's not exactly just this machine type thing. And honestly, I haven't even changed the oil enough on it to consider it taking care of it that way even. You know, it's about once a year I do it, and I should do it more. Anyhow, alright YouTube, I realize the lighting's kind of backlit here, but so be it. This is where it is at. So I did that video you just saw was quite a while ago, and I've actually moved this quite a bit over underneath the the loft here, and I've done a few other things to it to improve upon it. Now, as far as the cleanliness, I pretty much I cleaned up the these real well, the pulleys real well, best, you know, pretty well. I did a good job of it and got all the paint off of them and chipped off, blew everything off, done a little bit of cleaning, but I've been using it quite a bit now and it's gotten dustier again. But something I did upgrade on this, first of all, that right there, I'm not sure if that was on here. I can't remember when I was doing the last video, probably not. And I should have a video out there about this. Go check my playlist for things for that. Next thing, I also did this. I can't remember if I did videos on this or not. I don't think I did. I think I was just in a hurry and wanted to get it done and change the oil on it. And I showed you earlier this thing that came with it, and I'm kind of wondering if this is, they just don't ship it this way, and I think it came with it. I'm not honestly positive, but if yours doesn't come with something like this, you can go out and get pipe. Something like this. This is just something I found in a bucket of stuff, but something like that, but you know, smaller, that size right there. Only thing is, you'd have to either put a different cap on the end or see if you could somehow tap that end out to hold the nut. This is the it's a bolt actually. This is the bolt that was bolted into the machine here before, and it just fit right into the end of this tube. That's why I'm thinking this tube might have came with it, and probably if I had read the instruction better, it would have probably told me to do this when I did my oil change. But needless to say, I've done it umpteen 18 to 20 years later, and I got that done, and it just makes it so it comes out when you dump your oil out and you don't make quite as big a mess anyway. I've also put a new plug on it. That was out of necessity because my welder, which is plugged in right now, had a different type of plug-in end on it for the type of cord I could find for it, so I ended up replacing that. I also have videos on those two things, as well as the 30 amp fuse breaker. There, I have that video as well. And last but not least, in fact it's one of my more favorite things I've done, I took some of that pipe like I showed you earlier and found a bunch of fittings that I had laying around and got this to work so that I have a valve I can get to here. And this is really loud, so I'm just going to try and do it slowly. Oh, I forgot. It's actually open right now. I had already emptied this out. But anyways, it's a valve to blow off the water and air from the tank. And I threw that bucket right there. I actually have it screwed in down on the pallet that's sitting there. And that just catches the water so it doesn't go all over my floor. But anyway, that is a very, I'm really enjoying that I don't have to crawl up underneath there and undo everything, because first of all, it was a real pain in the butt. Second of all, it leaked like a sieve. Admittedly, this leaks a little bit, but it's actually slowed down even more than it was before now that it's been sitting for a while. So, only other problem you may have later on down the road is rusting issues with the pipes, but they are galvanized, so hopefully not. And that fitting there is brass, so hopefully I don't have too much corrosion and rusting problems. But regardless, it's much easier to grab that and open it up and let the drain it than it is by crawling up underneath there and trying to undo that little wing nut thingy that comes with it. But that's about it. Yet again, it's a Developus, the Air America. Really been happy with this thing. It's been awesome. Alright, I'm going to call that a video, just because basically before I could do a whole lot more videoing and cleaning up of it, I needed it going. I use this enough to where, you know, it's at least once a week I need this thing. I'm going to call that a video with my ugly mug here, and this is Sam, Jack of all, Master none. You all have a good one.